What's going on, everybody? Thomas XSL with Queenie Meow here, and we're trucking on into our fourth video into the Into SL series. And this video is going to be all about vehicles and driving in virtual reality. So for this video, we're going to be looking at some of Second Life's early vehicles on through the years and what's being offered today and what changes and improvements have been made as far as the vehicles go and the driving experience goes. So let's get our engine started and let's begin. Now, one important side note that I've been told was that Second Life's physics in the early days weren't all that great. It was very hard to drive road vehicles. So you see a lot of the older vehicles are going to be more like hovercraft and hoverpod, hoverboard type vehicles, and not really road vehicles or like traditional motorcycles and cars. There are some, but I've heard that was really, really hard to drive back in those early days. And if anybody knows more about that, please do leave a comment down below about that. I'm not an expert. I didn't join Second Life until much later when the physics were working rather nicely. So if you are from those early days and you're watching this video, please do leave a comment about how it was like to drive back in those early days. I heard a lot of people were flying, mostly doing avatar flying, and they had a lot of hovering type vehicles because that was easier to move around in. It's probably why the regular motorcycles in the early days were so darn fast. One of the many res zones, but they tend to return your items that you res out in about 5 minutes. So I decided instead to do the video here at Natoma at a sandbox where we have a 5-hour limit, 4 or 5 hour limit, but we won't take that long in this video. I just didn't want my stuff being returned to me all of a sudden. So there's three basic types of vehicles in SL. There's prim vehicles, which are just the basic building blocks made into vehicles. Then there's sculpted vehicles, which they came out about 2007. Prim vehicles have been around since the SL's beginning in 2003, but about 2006, 2007, people started sculpting vehicles in different programs and then bringing them into World, which they have a load time. You have to wait for the load maps to come on, and I'll show you that. And then the third type of vehicle is being made more recently, around 2011, and that's the mesh vehicles that are made out of the wireframe computer mesh. So we're going to take a look at some really old vehicles at first, and this is a hoverboard from October of 2003, and this is typical of what the vehicles look like in Second Life and how they were. They were generally air vehicles because the physics for the ground vehicles wasn't all that perfected yet. So we'll go ahead and left click and select ride from the pie chart, and it's got some smoke effect, and it has like a flame, it looks like. And this one drives pretty good. The turning on it's decent. It's not too bad. That's how a lot of vehicles were these air vehicles. So we'll go ahead and delete that. And then these are some of the early motorcycles that were made back in 03 and 04. As you can see, they have little particles in the tires. And some of these bikes, as you can see, we just went and crashed into a tree. They have let me turn off my AO. These motorcycles have really, really fast speeds because just because of the ground vehicles weren't all that great. The ground physics, I mean, weren't all that great back then. So I'm gonna go and get off this bike because it's just way too fast. But so this is another prim vehicle. It's made out of the simple building blocks. A lot of spheres, it looks like, was used to make this. And looks like could they used a couple Tauruses for the wheels. But these bikes have crazy speed, and actually, let's see, if you go into the contents and bring up the script by double clicking, you can actually just scrolling down to the vehicle speed. Okay, it's set at 200 miles an hour. That's why we're flying all over the place. If we were to change that to a more reasonable, let's say 25, we'll get rid of this one. And it has an item that's not copyable, probably a script or something, but we'll go and delete it because we have a copy of it in our inventory already. And now we'll ride this one with the new script adjustments that I did. And now we can see it's a lot less. Oh, my pose is really off. Let me reset on it. There we go. And I see it's a lot more reasonable in speed. It's only a 1 speed though. Trying to do the shift movements, and there's no shifting, so it's a single speed. All around nice if you want to cruise, but that's just how you can adjust the speed if you're able to open up the script like that. Here's a Broom Mega Fly. These are all like air vehicles that were made early on. Which is probably like a hoverboard. Oh, I'm upside down in this one. And this one here, I probably have to type in the word start. No. And this one doesn't seem to be flying all that great. Get rid of that one. But they have a lot of these like airplanes and whatnot. Generally they had Andrew Linden's flight script, which was, I'm not sure how you start these up, but oh, there we go. Page up is to go forward, and then you can bank and fly, because air travel was much easier to do back then, just because like I said, the ground physics were messed up. Oh, and I'm going to jump off and delete. And things like a July 2003 canoe, that's even older than the hoverboard, which this is just a water vehicle, but I'm not sure how this one works, but I just need to drop it in water. Sometimes water vehicles will work even though you aren't around water. And we have a seaplane, another air vehicle. And I'm trying to see if there's any. Here's some of the old 2004 cars. Like that car, there's one UPS truck. Well, usually these trucks have graphics. This is a modified one. What else we have? Fairchain pedal car. So these are some of the cars that were around back then. These are all made with just basic building blocks. Some of them have textures, like this one has the texture of the headlights and the grille. And the textures of the wheels on the tires. And I'm trying to go forward, but this thing's... And some of them have scripts that aren't all that great. This one's got a very wide turning radius. And I'm going to go ahead and jump off it. And it's going to throw me into the air. And then later on is, here's a mini hover pod. Here's another air vehicle, one of the hover pods that were really popular then. This one's got some kind of graphics on the side. This is Abbott's Aerodome. So you use arrow keys to drive, page up to jump, page down to brake. This is a pretty cool little hovering vehicle. Moves fairly fast, just like the other ones. So there's a lot of air vehicles. And then on through from 2003 even through like 2007, you have these type of cars here, which they just took a box and literally put the graphic of the car on the side of the box. Sometimes they didn't match up, like this one doesn't really match up on the lines, but this one's a Rumbler. Not very much interior detail at all. I'm going to go and leave this up here, and I'm going to go to the next vehicles, which were the sculpted cars. The sculpted vehicles were modeled, and they had a lot better detail, like the headlights and everything would actually be molded into the vehicle. Like the door handles wouldn't, like this is just a graphic, but the other ones, the sculpted ones, would actually have the door handles actually modeled on the doors. And they would have full interiors, much better detail. Just trying to zip along and get to it. Okay, here we go. This is a Ferrari. Now when I res this, and I'm resing by just grabbing the object with the left mouse button and then just dragging it and releasing the mouse button. When this one reses, you're gonna see what the sculpted prims are. They look like all these oblong balls and discs, and then they kind of go away and then they reappear, and that's just because the sculpt maps, which are, see, sculpt maps, which are these things right here that you see. These are loading. These are all, they look like rainbow pictures, but they're all really the shape of the different components. And so once those load up, then the car starts to come into view. I'll put this side by side next to the Rumbler, and you can compare. Now this is kind of like what the mesh vehicles look like, only the mesh gets real crinkly, and you'll see that the mesh kind of crinkles up at a distance, where the sculpt kind of holds its shape. But here we go, even just from the outside, I mean, instead of being boxy, it's actually modeled. It's got the curves all like sculpted, great engine detail. Okay, you see here a lot of cars from around this era, from 2003 to 2007, have very, like, not even really their interior, just the seats. No dashboard, no steering wheel. And on the sculpted ones, of course, there's a full interior, steering wheel, radio detail, instrument cluster, dashboard detail, all modeled and fully textured. As well as on this yellow Rumbler, nothing opens, but on this Ferrari, it actually has a door script that lets the doors open and close, and you can see there's the door jamb and sill detail, and Haru Motors, even the motor company, opening hood and So sculpted vehicles were really popular, and then around 2011 the mesh vehicles started to come in. I don't think this one's, yeah, this one doesn't have, that trunk doesn't open, but the rest of it does. And let's see, I have another sculpted car. Here's another sculpted car, and you'll see the same thing. You'll see the little, oops, I didn't mean to wear it. There we go. You can see the shapes kind of look like balls, and then they start popping in. All the panels and fenders start coming into, they all start popping into view. Spin it around. This one, now this one has separate door panels, but they don't have the hinge, the door hinge system in. But we can always fit that in later. But like the other vehicle, it has full interior. It's a little dark. Excuse me. It's a little darker than the other vehicles, than the Ferrari. And this vehicle has full interior like the Ferrari. It's a bit darker, not as much color, but I mean the interior is still there, and you can still make out the details. Sculpted seats, as opposed to just a one long bench seat on the Rumbler. And this Ferrari's doors have begun to close. They're on an automatic timer. They'll close if you leave them open for too long. But so those are sculpted vehicles. And I'll just go ahead and get rid of this one on the end so I can show you the mesh vehicle, which is I'm trying to find it. A lot of cars now are mesh. Here we go. Okay, and here's a mesh vehicle, and the way it looks when it reses is you don't see anything for a while, and then there starts to be triangles, and then they start forming into the car. There you go. So mesh is basically like sculpt. It's a little heavier though. It's heavier on your computer as far as when you go to edit it. Certain cars will really make your computer run fast because it's trying to compute all the wireframe skeleton. I mean, you can see the skeleton just from me being an edit, how detailed that is, as opposed to like the sculpt vehicles, a lot lighter. The mesh vehicle clearly has like a net, kind of like a net forming over it. This is pretty much what they're using in video games, or what they've been using is mesh, traditional wireframe computer modeling. It's just been coming to Second Life since I think 2011. They actually had to remake a new viewer that could handle it because it's just so high speed. But the problem with mesh though is it tends to break up, crinkle, and different items like wheels will disappear at a distance. You see it kind of looks bent up, and then when you get closer it straightens out. Whereas the sculpt doesn't act like that. The Prim card definitely doesn't act like that. So at a distance your mesh car looks broken, but when you get closer to it, it all fixes back. I'm not sure why that is, but so that's the three basic vehicle types: Prim, Sculpt, and Mesh. And it's the same thing with motorcycles. Here's an early 2003 bike made of Prims, which is some detail as far as the textures. These are just basic building blocks here, including the seat. And this later bike is made with sculpts. It's all sculpted shapes, a little more detailed. And then the mesh bike with even more detail while using less building blocks, pretty much like the sculpt bike is. And then the mesh bike has a chain, is really detailed, where you can see the rivets and the individual links. The sculpt bike, the sculpt bike has no chain. Well, it's got a primary belt, but it doesn't really have chain detail. And then the one from 2003 has no kind of chain detail or anything. And like other ground vehicles, this early motorcycle is really fast. I think it's about 200 miles an hour rated as well. This bike here has some. The sculpted one has gears, so it's not as fast. But and the bikes, I have to reset. There we go. The bikes have banking. Right and left, and you begin riding just by right clicking and then selecting drive. Arrow keys. I think you can drive with WASD, but I find it a little easier to do with the arrow keys. And you either gauge up it as a wheelie, gauge down should be a burnout, and if you hold shift and go right, that's the gears. Up at 6 and all the way back down, hitting shift and the arrow key, and just holding the down arrow brings you back to reverse. So now that we've seen a bit about vehicles, we'll go ahead and go to our next step. Will be to go to the mainland roads and have some fun driving around. And most all these vehicles should be able to take a passenger as well. I don't know about that early bike though, but I think the cars and I think this motorcycle might be able to take a passenger, probably on the fender. So our next step is driving in the mainlands with a passenger. So to find a spot, we just bring up our map and just type in Bun Chic, and right here at this intersection there's a red zone. So we'll land there. Teleport Queenie over there. Left click and left click, hold on the vehicle and release, and the vehicle pops up. Click on the vehicle. take away this and we'll find a car. What's going to happen as we're driving, I'm going to show you the region crossings. Region crossings, or sim crossings as they're sometimes called. What they are is, if you bring up the map button right here, you see all these lands are made up of a bunch of squares, and as you pass between the two squares, sometimes your car will sink, or it'll fly backwards through the air really fast, or you'll go straight ahead really fast. And what's happening is each of these sims are residing on a computer server in real life, and what's going on is you're being passed, or just a region handshake where you're being passed from one region to the next. And as you're going through that region handshake and loading on the other region, you'll fall to the ground and do bizarre stuff. It's best if you hit those region crossings at a low speed, so you don't just fly off and get logged out. 'Cause sometimes there can be so much lag as you're trying to get on the next sim over that they can actually log you out. So we'll go ahead and get in the car and get started. You right click and select drive on the pie chart. And our passenger does the same. Right click. Turn off our AOs so we take the proper sits. And I'm driving using the arrow keys. And right here where these two diamond signs are, this is a region crossing, and this is how they usually mark them. And we'll just watch what happens when we go through it. I'm going to move the camera back a little bit and proceed slowly through it. And as you see, we kind of lift it up there for a second. There's different reactions depending on how the handshake goes. Here we go back again. Kind of sunk in the ground there a little bit. And we just click stand to get back up off out of the vehicle. We turn back our AO back on. So that's the basics of driving in SL. Let's see. Oh, there's gears too. And once you get in the vehicle, you'll page up, hit the page up key, or page down to gear up or gear down. Sometimes the reverse gear is just the backwards arrow on the arrow key, but sometimes it is in the. It all depends on how the vehicle's scripted or programmed. Sometimes you'll use the down arrow key for reverse, and other times it might be page down, or even holding shift and pushing the left and right arrow keys is another way that vehicles can shift, but that's usually a shift that's usually done with bikes, with motorcycles, because usually the page up is for a wheelie and page down is for burnout on the motorcycles. But now to show you in this car, it's probably page up and page down to shift in this car. Yep, and as you see in the corner, And as you see in the left lower corner, it says Whispers Gear 2, 3, 4, and then 3, 2, 1 as I downshifted. So where you can find cars at in SL is the freebie area is one place you can find some cars, some older models. This car here is actually not that old, but it's made kind of in the old style. People will make different vehicles different ways. So some will be new, but they'll be using the old methods, the old ways they used to make cars. And right now we're going to go ahead and check out. We're going to bring up our map and look at a place where you can buy new cars. And I'm just going to type cars in for the region, and this is cars, and we're going to drop into it, and I'm going to show you all these vehicles here. We'll land right there. Okay, here we are at cars. I'll let everything kind of res in. As you see, there goes a bus. They have different vehicles that drive around the sim that you can, I think they actually help with lag. They help clean up some of the computer stuff on the sim, but here's one shop. Looks like it says SA Cars, and these are mesh vehicles, by the way, so that's why they look kind of broken, and you can't see the wheels very good. So let's see, this one is SA Cars. And these cars are just test models out here. But this sign in front of the cars here, that's what you actually click on, and you would hit pay to buy them. And this one's $1,450. And usually about a grand, 1 to 2,000 lindens, which is about, I think it's like $2. It's like $2 or $3 in U.S. currency. As you can see, they have all kinds of vehicles. This one they have the Love Bug, and then it goes on to luxury vehicles. Here's a group gift card. If you decide to join the group, you can get that car. And if you click on this vendor on the different pictures of the cars, you'll see what cars they have. This one has like a Vanagon, Volkswagen Transporter. That's a ambulance. Well, it says it has eight themes, so it's civilian, police, and taxi, as well as the ambulance. A lot of cars are put in vendors, actually for security reasons, so nobody can steal them. Because there was a problem with copy botting. Well, I imagine it still goes on, but some people would have these hack programs where they could just copy a car if it was sitting out like this. But it wouldn't copy, from what I heard, it wouldn't copy the inside. It wouldn't copy anything in the vehicle as far as the programming of the scripts, like the drive poses. So people would have this great looking car that they would have taken, and then they would throw crappy scripts in it and crappy sounds, and so they would be handing out all these fantastic looking vehicles to people that would have all these bad driving animations, and people would be halfway out of the car and almost sitting in the ground and stuff. But now some of these cars are scripted. These ones that are just these display ones, some of them are scripted as far as like the doors, so you can see like the door animations or whether or not it has an opening door, like this Mustang. And that Beetle over there has functioning doors. Clicking on the Beetle's doors, but nothing's happening. Then here's what looks like a Chrysler 300 convertible. You got all kinds of vehicles. There's some like Model A trucks, some 1930s, and there's just so many different vehicles in SL. I mean, there's even like a shopping cart car. But I believe that was made like back in like 2008, or possibly even older than that. But so we'll get into some up close detail at how detailed these cars are. So you can see they got the hinges modeled, like the lights. The lights usually work like with signals and stuff. It just depends on who makes the car. Got all this detail. All these switches are like all these gauges and switches are like a texture thrown on a flat prim. Sometimes you'll actually see like all those buttons actually modeled and they're actually like sticking out. It just depends on who makes the car. This company here, up here, Pro Street, they make really detailed cars with actually have an animation of you getting in the car and getting out. So, oh, have somebody saying night. Have somebody saying good night to me. You just click edit and you can see this is the Pro Street car right here. Yeah, some of these have really detailed. Let me tell this person good night real quick and I'll come right back. Okay, so let's look at some other vehicle interiors. I know there's some that have like the little knobs all modeled. Oh, here we go. Look, like right here, the hazard light button is actually modeled. It's not just a flat picture. And this one has the GPS. Now, more likely that GPS is just there for looks, just for the effect. But there is, somewhere in the world, there is actually a GPS that you can actually put on vehicles. And it will actually show you the region map and where you're at on the map. So it'll actually show you. I think it throws an arrow of what direction you're pointing and where you're at. But it actually will show you the square that you're in, the square of land that you're in, the sim, and it will actually show where you're at. But I haven't seen them being used in like any of these cars. Here's one that's like a 1930s, like an Auburn or something. It's got some pretty cool detail. It's got all the pedals. And if we look through the hood, we'll probably see some motor. Okay, there is no motor. I thought there would be some motor detail. Okay. Well, let's go find some other vehicles. I've got a lot of service vehicles. Not service, a lot of emergency vehicles on this sim. Some racing trucks. Got some campfires going over there for some reason. Yeah, there's like a city worker truck. Let me roll in. That's like a city worker truck. See, there's all kinds of like different vehicles. I mean, the people that make these cars are just like you at home sitting at your computer. They've learned to do simple modeling and then they've ended up turning it into okay, sorry about that. I thought I was gonna crash there for a minute because my screen got stuck. Anytime it freezes, it's like on the verge of crashing. Where were those? Yeah, how the hell did I get way over here? I was over here, and we're looking at these fire vehicles. I guess that's why they have the fire, because of the fire vehicles. Now this blue car that kind of looks like a Corvette, that's probably somebody probably drove that into here and got it stuck. It looks like an older vehicle. There's another car stuck over there. I think people are like driving their cars and crashing them and just leaving them. And you can see the detail on this fire truck is incredible. This one's actually got a gurney in the back and a fully modeled interior. Like I was saying, it was just people that they've learned to build, started out probably building simple stuff, and then went on to make all kinds of fantastic stuff like this. But it's ambulance controls. It even has the plug. Yeah, a lot of stuff in Second Life it's not made by like computer geeks with like decades of experience, but it'll be just like regular people that they'll learn how to build, and they'll just use their building skills to make different stuff, and they'll learn how to texture. And in some cases there's even people that will make vehicles. I don't know about service vehicles like that, like those ones we just passed, but they'll make just regular vehicles like these ones over here, and they'll have just an empty vehicle shell with the wheels and everything in the interior, and it's up to whoever buys it to script it. Here's a smart car. See, that one's got some pretty nice interior detail. Let's look at that closer. It's got a little video screen. Doesn't come on, but it's even got the needle. The hub of the needle is actually modeled, and so is the needle. Now that speedometer might work. That might be a working thing, that speedometer. Usually in a cell, though, the speedometers that work are all they are just numbers that'll appear on a certain usually it'd be just numbers like floating above, like somewhere on the car, like the back of the car where you can see it easily. It'll just be just like numbers just hanging there. I mean, depending on what your speed is, like 20, 30, 40, however fast you're going. Oh, here's another type of sim crossing sign. But this is not cars. These are avatars, skins, and shapes. To the left and to the right of us, looks like a jewelry store. Looks like a jeweler's, but I don't see any shoes. I think it's a shoe store, but this episode we're here to see cars, so let's go. I know a spot where I can take you where you can buy those cars. They call them full permissions. I'm gonna have to talk about permissions in an upcoming video. But permissions are basically what Second Life's business side runs on, is what items and what products are allowed to be passed to other people, what items you're allowed to make a copy of and not, and what items you're allowed to modify and not. Now these cars here that are all set up, these are probably copy. You're probably allowed to have a copy of them in your inventory, but you're probably not allowed to modify or transfer them. And these vehicles, let's see. Oh, these ones are decals. Those decal sets over there. Let's see, like this Mustang. Let's take. I don't know if I clicked on this Mustang or. Oh, see right there it says perms copy. You're able to have a copy of it. It's made out of 18 pieces, 18 building blocks, and the script usage is 384 kilobytes. And this is priced. Oops. Where's the buy box? Oh, there it is. And to buy this vehicle is $2,750. So it's about $3,000, 3,000 lindens, which is about, I'm guessing about maybe close to $5. It's within that. It's like $5 real money. And a lot of these cars, like this one's a Mustang, but they're not licensed, or they might not be licensed to use the word Mustang, so they change up the vehicle's looks, and they call it a Cobra instead with a K, so they can't get in trouble. This car here, which looks kind of like a Buick or maybe a Ford Crown Vic. This one is okay. I don't see no. I'm looking for the. I don't see the buy. Oh, there it is. It says right click to pay, but we're not getting a pay for the window on the pie chart. Let me zoom in here real quick. Not there. There. Everything packed central was squad and civilian. So it's $12.50 to buy it as a civilian. Detective version is $17.50, and so is the squad version, or the police version. So it's 1,250 lindens for this car. That's about what it costs for the full perm vehicles that you can script, but then you gotta have the scripts, and you can get those scripts you can either pull them out of old full perm vehicles, or you can get a scripting device like the KCP ACS scripts, which are the most advanced vehicle scripts for Second Life. Now, some of these vehicles here, I believe they're probably scripted just by whoever made them. They probably have their own scripting. They have their own special scripts to them. Look, these guys are selling caps, and it looks like jumpsuits and hoodies along with vehicles. Like a prison outfit, so you can kind of role play. You got a police uniform. These uniforms are like almost $900. Okay, I went and TP'd to a place called Tony's Chop Shop in Fab International, and this is where you can get all these vehicles and all these parts, or most of these parts, are full perm, which means you can buy this, like this Humvee. You can buy the off-road Jeep, and you can script it and actually sell it in your own store or sell it in your own vehicle lot. It makes motorcycles. These ones are mesh. Those cars over there are sculpt, which you can see they kind of hold their shape when you walk away. And the rest of these vehicles are all mesh. You can tell because they kind of look broken, like broken up. And there's hard angles. They almost look like tinfoil, kind of like crushed up together. This looks like a Nova here, a SS. This one might be one of his scripted vehicles. Nova Racer updated new. Yeah, this one is actually one that's not a resellable vehicle. That one he's made to sell, and some of these other vehicles are decoration vehicles like this. This one here is actually wrecked, which we haven't really talked much about, but yeah, when you're driving cars and hit stuff in Second Life, the cars don't have a crash animation, so they don't wreck up. I mean, this one was made on purpose like that in the whatever modeling studio it was made in. And we got a 57 Chevy mesh. Whoops. This is just asking if I want to allow music, which we don't want to hear right now. And he's got a wrecked bike. It's all tore up. He's got an old truck. There we go. Get close enough to it so that mesh parts will pop into view and it'll look nice. It's an old Ford. There's a engine up on a hoist. Now this is all great because it doesn't have any textures or colors to it, which this is probably full perm. This is something you'd probably buy and then you would texture it yourself, put the colors on yourself, and then resell it as something. Now I want to take you across the street. Oh, there's another truck that's all rusted out. I want to take you across the street from this place, and there's a lot of stuff to look at. There's a little hatchback like we saw earlier around that pole, but that one's all burned up. Now across the street from Tony's auto shop is this motorcycle shop, which you're going to freak out. All those bikes over there, all these parts are full perm. You can buy them and script them and resell them, and we're lagging like hell because of all the mesh in here. But look at this. Look at all these bike parts. Or not parts, but all these bike kits. And there on the back wall you can see all the parts just lit up. He's got like almost everything here. Like anything you can imagine. Look at this in front of us is a kid's tricycle that's been modified to a motorcycle. You have to wait and let it res in, let the colors pop in. We've got all kinds of stuff. Drag bikes, there's bobbers, choppers, there's crotch rockets, drag bikes. There we go, the colors came in. That little red trike. And he's got a couple knuckleheads in a frame. And some knuckleheads out of the frame with a blower. We have part of an Indian kit. He's got several different Indian pieces. This one, kit Indian and sculpt maps. Okay, so this is a sculpted vehicle. It's not mesh. And as you can see, it holds its shape really well when we walk away from it. There, he's got just the Indian motor over here. And he's got the handlebars. He's got the fenders and all that stuff on another part of the shop. There's some more Evo motors. It's got what look like some shovel heads. Can't walk right in this damn place because it's so laggy. There's a pan head in front of us. And another knucklehead with a golden cam rods. You just cannot walk for crap. It's so laggy, but yeah, this place is freaking awesome. As expensive as it is, there's a shovel head. As expensive as this stuff is, it's just awesome to see. I mean, and it's not even just this side of the shop. I mean, it goes way down there, and there's all kinds of stuff. Sissy bars. Look at his front ends. See his resellable front end. It's $1,500 for that. That one's got a wheel. That one's got a wheel script. The wheel's rolling. How much is that one? That front end is $1,400. Yeah, 100 less. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. This doesn't look good. Oh, that sucks. There used to be a scooter store right here. It was really small. And they sold one type of scooter, but it was like it had different paint jobs on it and stuff. Oh, that sucks. They left. I guess they weren't making enough money. They were selling scooters for like 650 lindens each. Damn, they're gone. That's the only thing that really sucks about SL is like cool places will like disappear. Okay, so we're gonna head up this hill, and hopefully it's still there. There's another car place that actually sells vehicles. They sell cars from the place we're just at, Tony's. They buy them and resell them. I'm gonna just fly here if I can. Yep, there we go. So we got this place over here that has cars. They're coming in now. Yeah, so this place you can buy cars. You got like 50s cars. And then across the street they have some other ones that are like 50s cars. And some of these are sculpted as well. Some of them, like this truck is sculpted. They're selling a sprint car. Tire sets. Let's see. Is this for sale? No. Is that for sale? No. Okay, never mind. Maybe these are just decorations because I'm not seeing. How about that tow truck? Is that tow truck for sale? Hell no. Okay, so this place around across the street here, these ones are for sale. There's quite a few of them, a lot of hot rods, a lot of 50s and 60s type vehicles, and they have one over here that looks like Kit from Knight Rider. I don't know if they have a General Lee, they got a Judge, and okay, back here's the sales boxes. And they even got a ride. Look at this rideable Spider. This is a Spider you can buy and you can drive around, just scaring the hell out of people. How much is that Spider? It's $150. There's a '59 Impala. It's $12.95. 70 GSX for almost $1,000. Knight Rider car, what do they call it? Well, Knight 2000. It's $14.95. So some of these are about the same price as the other cars that we just seen. Yeah, about $1,000. Now these ones might be ACS scripted. Let's see, loading contents. Oh, these have their own. Okay, these have their own special scripts. 66 GTO 12 Porsche. So you see this amazing amount of vehicles you can own in Second Life. World War II Jeeps, civilian Jeeps, a wrecker, VW Combi, monster truck, regular pickup trucks, service trucks, a panel truck. Let's see, I think down the hill over here is where they got the motorcycles they're selling. Stuff like this fire station, that might be just somebody's roleplay place. It's probably not selling those vehicles. And let's get to the motorcycle shop. Cycles, this is just one of many places where you can buy motorcycles at in Second Life. So we'll just go up the stairs of this store here, and they've got a rideable Spider. It seems just like the car, like the auto lot we just came from. And they got a couple scooters here. And it looks like an amphibious vehicle. As well as what we mainly came here for, the motorcycles. And they've got some choppers, some bobbers. Man, I'm really lagging at the mesh vehicles. There's a quad. It's Captain America Panhead. Oh, it's nice, as well as a Billy bike. Well, it looks like these have male and female versions. Male versions are bigger, female versions are smaller. But I mean, to be honest, one size on a motorcycle will pretty much fit male and female avatars. I mean, I know some people's avatars are stretched to crazy sizes. But I mean, there's big women in SL2, real tall women, as well as petite ones, as well as there's petite guys, as well as big guys. My avatar is probably, I'm probably about medium size. Look at this one's got a cab, kind of like what we saw on the wall, or on the floor of the I can't think of that place now. The Tony's Chop Shop, the motorcycle part. Remember they had it was a purple one. They have a yellow one on the wall as well. These motorcycles here are all ready to ride though. And let's see, they're about 2,500 lindens to buy. And 2,500. They're all pretty much about the same price. 2,500 lindens. There's a cruiser. I just give you a show of like the different styles, many different styles they have. Oh, they have a gift. This is the gifting. You just right click and sit, and you lag out. No. Okay, they gave me an object, the Wonder Chair. This is another version of the Lucky Chairs that they have. Lucky Chairs, they have initial with your name. I mean, they have a letter, and if it matches the first letter of your name, or your first name, you click on it and you win a prize. My display name is WBM Mechanic, but my actual avatar name was in the brackets. There is Thomas, so I can't sit on stuff with a W. I got to sit on stuff with a T. It's whatever what your actual name, your avatar is. And here's a chieftain, Indian, and it's 2,500 as well. As well as this Canada BMW. They call it a Tetsuo, almost like Tetsuo. This one's only 2,000 for both versions. Yeah, you can see the male version is a little bit bigger than the female version, but I mean, to be honest, male or female will fit. They'll fit on a motorcycle. There isn't really a scale. I don't know if people actually use scales when they're building, but generally I don't use a scale when I'm building my motorcycles or anything. I just kind of roughly eyeball it to the avatar. As long as your car is not the size of a football field, or your motorcycle's not the size of a playground, you'll be all right. Up here we have some. And over there's some kind of sale box. Over here are some signs. I think you can buy these. Yeah, $50. You would just right click and select buy. You know, we're poor right now, so we can't buy anything, but $50. Hopefully they're copyable. These funny ones. They got some for ladies as well here. Oh, it's a poster T-shirt. Let's see what this blue box is over here. Oh, they're selling some shirts too. Betty Boop shirts. Betty Boop biker shirts. So a lot of the stuff you see in real life, whatever that is, you'll see here. Betty Boop biker things, the latest types of bikes you'll see in Second Life. This is Greek Tips group tattoos coming soon. Okay, that's a group tattoo. This is a free tattoo. It's a free SBCC tattoo. Let's go ahead and click that. I'll buy that. No modify, no transfer. Alright, free tattoo. This some of the auto and bike sales, some of the stores, they'll have groups where you can join, you win free, you can get free stuff sometimes. This has got some women's outfits. Some of these are mesh. Now, of course, with the mesh outfits, they stick to your avatar. They stick to your avatar, and they'll move with your legs. A lot like, I mean, if you look at like video game characters, how their clothes are actually kind of stand up off them, and they move with the characters. That's how some of these mesh clothes work. Like that jacket. You can have a prim jacket like that, but it would probably be going through parts of your arm if you turn certain ways, and with mesh it actually like folds and looks really realistic. Free femme fatale tattoos. Try and say that one 3 times fast. We're a dude, but screw it, let's buy it. It's free. These no modify, no transfer, probably, yeah. Female neck tattoo. We'll buy it, why not? Hey, there's people wearing all kinds of crazy shit in SL. You just don't know the half of it. So these mesh outfits are, of course, they're newer. These ones here were made by a company called Empire, and some are made by Boa. And these are old outfits. Those are old boots. Prozac, that's an old company. And these are from like 2000. I'm guessing 2005 to 2007. And look at the skins. I mean, look how that's the skins people had back then. I imagine there were probably some good skins, but they probably costed a lot. If you go in the freebie area, sometimes you'll see these old skins, and they're like 200 lindens, and all that would come with them. They got a crotch X'd out. And all that these skins would come with was like one skin and then a shape. Now, when you buy a skin, oh, they didn't cross their area out. Now when you buy a skin, it comes in different shades. It comes without cleavage enhancing. It comes with the hair base, whether you want a red hair base or blonde or brunette or bald base, and different lipstick designs. And that's why nowadays the skins are so expensive. They're like $2,000 and higher, because you get so much with the skin. Back then in like 2007 and older, it was just one skin and one shape, and that was it. They sell makeup packs as well, so you can always alter if you don't like the lipstick that your skin comes with. But there's a knucklehead. This is a 2013 trophy. That bike that's making up the trophy looks pretty cool. That'd be a pretty cool one to ride. So you see, you got these old boots. I mean, some of these outfits still look good. And some people really hate the old school like shoes and heels like that, like them boots. So some people might laugh at you. Some people might give you props for wearing the old stuff. The people that have been around for a long time will more likely give you props for wearing the old stuff. Corinne's ACS V6.0 vehicle operating system. This is like one of the top. It's the top vehicle operating system in SL. And this is, I don't know if you could see in the white. It's one linden away from being 4,000 lindens. And what this is a script. It's a scripting kit. So when you get your full perm bikes, you use that box, or use the contents in that box. You'd open that box up and get scripts out of it, and then you would use them to make the bike rideable. And those are it's the most advanced scripting, and it comes with tons of stuff. And you can have it where you jump off the bike and the bike actually leans over and parks, and there's different poses you can pick. Now these are full perm motors right here. I guess they got like a full perm shop in the back. That's pretty cool. One prim motor, so that motor is made up of one building block, but it has a land impact of, now that LI is land impact. So it's made of one object. It's mesh, so that's why it's kind of weird like that. It's made of one object, but it counts as three objects when you put it on the land. So if the rest of your bike is one prim and you add this motor, you're going to have a land impact of 4 items, or 4 building blocks. Anytime you see that LI, that means land impact. That means how much data basically that this object is taking up when it's rezzed out like this on the land. And this motor is as much as most of the bikes. It's $2,500 for a motor. Well, it's probably $2,500 for all these motors. Not all together, but these different ones are completely ready to rumble. This one's a 5 prims with 5 land impact, full perms, $4,000. This is kind of looks like a shovel head, but it's not. The heads aren't curved; they're blocked. But it's got a kickstart on it. It's got the coil intake, the exhaust. It's got the oil. I think it even has an oil gauge. Damn thing's spinning, so it's real hard to see. But yeah, it's an oil gauge on there. $4,000 for this motor. Wow. And I'm guessing these are full perm motorcycles you can get. Got some crazy colors on the engines. Man, I am laggy as hell because of all the mesh. Mesh wheels. Mesh frames. I'm guessing these bikes are full perm for sale. Here are some more engines. Man, they're all... Oh, there's a... This one on the right's a panhead. I'm guessing this one's probably a shovel head, even though it's got squared heads and they're not rounded at the top like a shovel head is. And there's a knucklehead. There's some very nice motors, but $4,000 is quite pricey. And some places are like that. Some places are really pricey on the full perm stuff, and all you gotta do is shop around. You might find another place with great motors that are really detailed for less than that. It just all depends. There's some cars. This here looks like a Pontiac, I want to say. Is this full perm? Oh, it's a 56 Monterey. I can't think. Who made the Monterey? Mercury or Monterey? Mercury, that's what it was. Mercury. It's low prim mesh, and it's $12.95. It's cheaper than the motorcycles are. Yeah. We don't have the linens to buy it. If we did, we could at least see what kind of perms it is, if it's full perm or not. All these cars are mesh. And these are as well. SB Tidal Wave. Okay, these ones aren't full perm. These are just vehicles for sale out here or back here. Now this right here, this ramp, and these are pose stands. You stand on these and you'll take a pose, and they're loaded up with poses. We'll go ahead and pose, turn off for AO. So you'd click these and then you'd go to the next pose, or there's arrows I believe on them, and you click the arrows. But this ramp and everything, this is a photo booth setup, and you would have a background on this thing here, and you would spin this pose around. You'd only have one of these out at a time, and then you take your pose and you take your picture. Now, of course, we're going to get into that in another video. We're going to be learning how to we're going to be learning how to do our profiles. Get to work, jackass. Now, this guy's a mesh guy, just like the other guy over there. These are just statues. They're not. There's nobody behind these. They don't even have like joints. They're basically just mannequins. Oh, what you drawing, man? It's got Jack Daniels. He's smoking and he's drinking and he's drawing pretty badass for being drunk and stoned. Bad mother. It's even got the safety detail. That's pretty cool. Oh, this dude looks freaking gnarly as hell, doesn't he? He looks rough. Almost like Russell Crowe in a way. That's something else you can buy full perm as well. You can buy these people that are mannequins like that, or you can buy them already. You can buy them as they are, as they're already fixed up. Like I think this guy here, if you were to buy this this big biker here, he wouldn't be full perms. But there are some statues you can buy full perm. And you got this guy over here. I cannot walk for crap. When we get out of this place, you're gonna see how the lag subsides. And like that guy too, he's probably he probably comes like not full perm, like already. I don't know if those statues have any options to them. I don't know if you can script them to where they can throw a note card to whoever walks in the store. This guy right here, this is an old mannequin. I'm not sure. Let's see, we can right click on him, hit edit. His name's the Noob. Really, this is this mannequin here falls under I think the original title is Rare Man Upright Version. And I don't know if Stavin Carter's the one that made him. No, he's not the original maker of the sculpted Noob. Okay. He's from 2007. The sculpted Noob is probably from around 2006 or 2007. But he's an old item. You'll see him as they have him as roadkill, actually like broken up on the ground because he's made of several different pieces. And he also appears as ammo in a noob gun where you shoot and this guy comes flying out of the guns. This is some old stuff here, like this deli, supermarket and deli, and this hot dog vendor bicycle or tricycle. This is an old item too. It's made of regular prims. And this is a hobo junk wagon. This is a car that's, or a truck that's was made by our Arcadium Asylum. It's somebody who made these items, and he has a store, but I think all his items are free. And he pretty much files action against anybody who tries to sell his items. So a lot of people that have trucks that look like that are selling them, they're more likely just making their own, using his as a guide, because it's all made out of regular building blocks. Yeah, so this is actually iterable. In some of my older videos, I actually lived in the apartment above this on the sim I was in. Yeah, you just walk up here. The inside of the place I was living that was like this, though, had a custom-made interior that looked a heck of a lot nicer. This is the original interior to this place. But anyways, getting back on track with vehicles, let's get down here. Now this bicycle is a different type of vehicle in SL, where you actually would wear this. You wouldn't res this bike out. I mean, they have it res because it's part of the scene, but if you had this in your inventory, you would actually click to wear or add this, and you would actually, when you go walking, you would actually it would make your avatar do the cycling animation, so you look like you're actually riding this around. Here's some other cars here, but I don't think these are for sale. These seem to be just props for this movie theater. And 57 Chevy convertible, that one's made of mesh. I mean, you could tell because it looks kind of wrecked, and then it fixes when you get up on it. These ones here, these two Roadsters might be sculpts. And then those two vehicles, the Knight Rider Trans Am and that old truck, are more than likely, we froze. Okay, and we're back. I hate that, man. We froze up there. I thought we were going to crash. Those other two vehicles are mesh. I'm actually surprised we didn't crash inside the in the SBCC place because of all the mesh. Even though I'm running in the lowest, I'm not running, I don't know if I'm running basic shaders. I'm not running atmospheric shaders, and I'm running in the lowest graphic setting. If we went to a higher one, you would definitely, well, it'd be lag from hell. It'd be crazy. But that's vehicles in Second Life. Those automobiles and trucks and motorcycles, and there's boats too. You can buy yachts. You just go to the harbors. Like when we're at cars, if we look, well, it's pretty much like how we went for on the homes video. How you can live in yachts, you can live in RVs. So those are also drivable vehicles. Well, some of them are. But really, if you wanted to buy motorcycles or cars, all you do is you hit this search tab, make sure you're on places, and you would just hit cars. Whoops, I can't spell cars. And there you go. Race Island, that's for racing. And Fab Chopper Bike Parts. That's the place we were at that had all those full perm parts. Silver King Diner. Let me see, some of these are riding spots, so I'm going to just put for sale. And we get cheap apartments with lots of local amenities. Okay, I don't want that. I want cars for sale. And we'll just put motor motorcycles. Some of these are Sky Rentals and stuff. Let me see. Badlands. That's a riding sim. Oh, Rebel Rider Bike Parts. High-end parts store. Let's go see what that's about. That's going to be another full perm shop. Well, I'm guessing full perm. I mean, they're selling bike parts. I see some motors or something on the right. And we got some full bike, I guess full kits. Let's see what they're selling them for. What does this red arrow say? Gotta wait till these graphics pop in. Everything resin in. These are sculpted parts, man. Look at that. They look like a cluster of balloons or balls. And then once the sculpt maps load up, there we go. 5% discount. I wonder what the discount's about. Oh, look at those seats. That's pretty damn cool. That's pretty darn good on the details. Wow, look at that stitching. Got the little hooks and tabs where your seat would go. Leather seats with springs and mounting. Black and dark brown. How much? Pay. Ooh, $760. What about these motors? What are these motors going for? We'll say 800 just to guess. Holy shit, $4,000. It's just like the other kits. Damn, these kits are expensive as hell. This is some pricey stuff. They look good. They're just so darn pricey. Well, the price of this stuff is like it's really hard to make your money back. I mean, I'm not saying anything bad about the people that are selling this stuff. I'm just saying that once you make a bike with this stuff, you probably packed in about $9,000 just to make one bike, and then it's going to be a very hard seller to try and sell it at 11 or 12,000 just to try and make your money back. Because you see the bikes go for like $2,000. You have to sell a bunch of bikes to make your money back. I've got a bunch of sculpted parts that I bought for like 25 lindens each. But I make my own parts as well. That's how you get really unique stuff. So just build your own. And we get in the building section, I'll talk about that. You know, that might actually be the next video. That should be the next video, because we already covered adjusting your avatar, and so we adjusted how to come into Second Life, adjusting your avatar, where to go to live, and how to find a job. And now we're doing the vehicles. The next video should be doing building. I'm walking all over shit here. Hold on. It's laggy as hell. So the next video, I gotta start getting into building basics. The prims and navigating the editor, the content editor in Second Life. Let's get outside. There we go. Now we're getting out of that lag, man. So you come in the world for free. I mean, you can join Second Life for free. And you can build for free. Now, making all that mesh stuff and that sculpted stuff, you gotta have 3D modelers, but aside from that, you can build using hard prims. Now, with all this vehicle talk as well, there used to be a limit of viewers that were older than viewer 3. I'm not sure when viewer 3 came out for Second Life. That's probably 2011 or so, but we're gonna say, I'm guessing about 2000, 2011 or and back on to 2003 when SL first started, along with the bad physics that were inherent in the beginning of SL, there was a rule with vehicles where you could only build vehicles with 31 parts, I believe. And if you built them with more than 31 parts, the scripts wouldn't work and you wouldn't be able to drive them. They would just sit there. And I mean, of course, to get around this, you can build stuff in 3D builders, like 3D Max or the free one Blender, and you can make sculpted items which make it lets you build more detail with less parts. So instead of just having building your motorcycle handlebars and your handle grips and all that out of different pieces, you can sculpt it all as one piece, and you could even have it textured so that handle grip textures would fall in the right spot and the handlebar texture would fall in the right spot, and it would look like multiple pieces when in fact it was really one. But ever since the Viewer 3 came out, we went underwater. I thought that water we were going to be able to walk across it. Sometimes they have prim water, but when they came out with the Viewer 3, there was this unique thing where you could actually build a lot higher than 32 prim vehicles and make them drive. Now the ACS script bundle that we saw back there that was being sold for $4,000, that company actually came out with a over 32 prim vehicle cheat script that you can use. But the way I'm going to show you, you can do it without scripts, and it's really easy to do. Anybody can do it. You don't need anything special, which that'll probably be a video in itself. But yeah, it used to be that limit where you can only build a vehicle with 32 building blocks or 31 building blocks. Which it sounds like a lot of parts, but it's real easy for those parts to add up, and suddenly you got this great looking bike with no wheels and you can't drive it anywhere. But that's all in the past. Now you can build a vehicle up to 256 prims. I think 256 building blocks is the limit that you can link anything together. That's the link. That's the link limit. Past that, you can't link that many objects to form you can't link more than 256 building blocks to make your object or your item. I'm going to click off these. There we go. I'm trying to think of what else I can show you as far as vehicles in Second Life. There's blimps and there's all kinds of stuff in Second Life. There's scooters. We didn't get to really see that many scooters though. That Vespa place was shut down. I couldn't believe that. That place is up for a while. There's surfboards. I've seen surfboards. There's probably even skateboards you can ride in Second Life. I haven't seen a skateboard shop yet, but let's type that in and see if we can find that. Let's put in skateboards. I imagine they're around. Here we go, Action Mesh, hair, and surfboards and skateboards. Action Skateboard, okay, that's the same company. Let's check that out. Miscellaneous vehicles, skateboards. That'd be awesome to see. This is probably the store right here. It looks like faces. I think this is hair. We don't want to look at hair. Oh, this is all hair. I want to look at skateboards and stuff. What is this mess? Crap, I'm lost. My green lines went away from when I speak now because this area doesn't allow you to voice. I don't know, my talk button's like not coming on. Oh. Got creepers. Creepers are the things you get under cars with. I always see the mesh hair. Where the heck are the skateboards and stuff? There's some there's some surfboards. More hair, skirts, and clothes. Where's the skateboards at? I've seen skateboards as full perm vehicles, but does anybody build them in Second Life to just ride? Jump this fence. More surfboards. Oh crap, somebody made a model of Trevor's truck from GTA 5. That's friggin' nuts. There's a plane and more damn hair. Where's the skateboards at? Alright, well, somewhere around somebody's making skateboards. I imagine in SL. That'd be crazy to have that vehicle market go untapped. Alright, so in the next video we're going to be talking about building basics. Maybe I should do a hair video. Ah, we froze up again. Damn it. Alright, before we go, I'm going to show you the bicycles I was talking about. Stunt BMX, ride animated BMX. You just right click and select add to worn. And it's worn on our right hand. Turn our AO off. There we go. Turn off your AO and you'll be sitting on the bike. And then as you can see, you get in the riding animation and you start riding it. And then when you page up to jump, you actually do there you go, start doing tricks. Oh, when you crouch, you actually stand up on the bike. Whoops. Alright, no flying. There we go. So this is an example of a vehicle that you can wear anywhere in SL. You can go up in the clubs with this bike. They'll probably tell you to take it off though. Or if you're riding through a store, somebody might say something about you wearing it, but now this vehicle here doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many building blocks it's made of, because you know it's not scripted to drive. It's really just something you're wearing as you're walking, and it's got its own AO that's making you do all the pedaling and all that stuff. It's not scripted where they gotta watch the land impact. Actually, this has no land impact since we're wearing it. So it's really weird. Items tend to go into a phantom state when you're wearing them, so they look solid, but they'll pass through stuff. Like this bike will pass through walls or anything else we come in contact with because we're wearing it. And then to take it off, you just right click and detach from yourself, or you could click on the bike itself and hit detached, or you can just double tap on where it's at in your inventory. Double tap, there you go, and then you remove it, and then we turn our AO back on. There we go. So also speaking about vehicles, this is where I'm hanging out in one of my little squatter spots. It's a little skybox with this little trailer. This trailer doesn't drive around or anything. But if you right click and select sit, you can will actually take a sit pose. Well, let me turn off the AO again, and you can hit these sit animations. You sit at the table, click it again, and it's got female and male sit poses. With some trailers, you can enter them and that's about it. But this one actually has little cool animations that have you sitting in different areas. So that's another thing you can look at as trailers, even though trailers generally can't be driven except if they're RVs, but generally trailers are under the class of homes rather than vehicles in Second Life. So that concludes our fourth installment, I believe, on Into SL, talking about vehicles. And if you like this video, then make your daddy proud and hit that like and subscribe button like you mean it. And until next time, which should be the getting into building in Second Life, have a great day and take care.